For some reaction, we're joined by international trade consultant Donald MacKay, who's XA Global Trade Advisors CEO. A very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. We are hearing that debt collection is SARS's focus. How aggressive is SARS likely to become in pursuing? I mean, 513 billion rand is not small change.
No, it's not. And SARS have certainly become more aggressive. I think we can expect more of that. Some of it legitimately, but I do fear at times that there are lots of the innocent that are caught up in the enthusiasm to collect more money. We're also in an environment where people are not, I don't believe, comfortable that their taxes are being well spent. And so that drives up levels of non-compliance. If you feel that you're paying over, but your money is getting stolen or just poorly utilized. So it is a problem.
When you speak about the likelihoods of the innocent getting caught up, what rights and responsibilities do taxpayers have when they're contacted by SARS over outstanding debt?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously depends on your own personal circumstances as well. For bigger companies, you would typically, or bigger taxpayers, you would contact an expert to assist. There is the tax ombud, and that is worth utilizing, and is certainly delivered some good outcomes for taxpayers. But importantly, people need to keep their tax affairs in order at a time when SARS is so aggressive. So, a lot of the people that may not be guilty of fraud, etc., are being caught up quite often because they're sloppy with their VAT returns or missed deadlines, etc. That is raising the risk even further.
We heard that the focus will also turn to unexplained wealth. So what are some of the key challenges SARS is facing in, for one, tracking and cracking down on this segment of the economy?
Yeah, I mean, this is difficult. This is an area SARS has attempted to go after people who suddenly seem to be driving much better cars than their income should allow, and so on. But we've seen this step beyond just the income tax area. Certainly at the borders, SARS is trying very hard to crack down on illicit trade, which is an increasingly large problem in South Africa, and one, I must be honest, that I don't know how much progress they're making on it. I mean, the challenge we've got is SARS has a limited budget. There's a distressed economy at the moment. Everybody is looking at every little cent and what they can do with it. So I think SARS has their work cut out for them. I might also add that you can't simply intimidate people into paying their taxes. That's a very expensive way to go. Until South Africans feel that their money is being well spent, I think we're going to have a significant problem with people circumventing their responsibilities.
Donald, you touched on illicit goods. What impact does the illicit economy have on formal businesses and local industries?
Yeah, I mean, so we saw during COVID when tobacco was banned, how rapidly that sector popped up, illicit trade, and it's never entirely gone back to where it was again. So a few people made a lot of money, they've become incredibly wealthy, and they've gotten away with it to a very large degree. We see this as well in certain other sectors of the economy. The clothing sector, for example, struggles to compete with illicit trade. The steel sector, we have sometimes issues popping up with products like chicken, which are sometimes imported without the duties being paid. But essentially, the pattern seems to follow wherever the high tariffs are. So there are extremely high taxes on tobacco, and so the payoff is very big to circumvent. There's a 45% tariff on clothing, and so people take a chance, 62% tariff on chicken, and so on. And so as the duties go up, so the circumvention climbs, and of course the effect of those tariffs are undermined. And without about factories, legitimate traders are severely negatively impacted by this.
And the sale of these illicit goods, how does it affect SARS's ability to collect revenue?
You know, it's clearly a problem. I mean, particularly once goods have entered the country, if you've got a border tax like a customs tax, once the goods are inside the country, it's a much harder problem to solve. So SARS is certainly struggling at the border. This is not helped by the fact that our ports are in a terrible state. And so with everything happening, you've got this increased incentive to take a chance. You've got a diminished ability at SARS, which they are attempting to fix. You've got this diminished ability, and then you've got the complete chaos at the ports, and this is a problem. So without a doubt, this would be hitting on SARS's ability to collect their revenue.
Thank you very much. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. International trade consultant Donald MacKay of XA Global Trade Advisors CEO.